Welcome to another one of my stitch diaries. Now it feels like it's been a little while, hasn't it, since my last stitch diaries, and you may notice I'm in my craft room. Well, doll slash craft room these days, isn't it? So yeah, you see probably seen many changes over the past few years of what's been going on in my craft room, and there's going to be a huge change again. So I've got some exciting news to tell you, but I'll save that for a moment. And I'm getting a notification about something ending on eBay. Sorry about that. So today is a stitch diaries, but there will be dolls involved. It's kind of one of those videos where the two videos cross over. But I will be doing a doll video hopefully soon, a Blythe video. But there will be some Blythe dolls in this video. But yes, this is the stitch diaries. So this is all about, you know, dressmaking and things I've made, knitted, crocheted, things like that. Excuse me, my nose is going already. I've had a notification actually. My tissues are in here now, my Christmas tissues. I've had a notification on the Met Office saying the birch and a few things pollen is really high today. So I was expecting a bit of hay fever, but I've not been too bad. My eyes have itched a little bit, but as soon as I start talking on video, my nose starts running, so excuse me, I'll have to cut this bit out. Now you may wonder, why have I chose to film in here today and not at the bottom of the stairs? Claire on the stairs, as I've been nicknamed by some, so I hear, somebody's husband. Well, anyway, I'm back in here, and it's only because, well, it looks a bit of a mess now actually, but I was involved in a Patreon Zoom on Sunday, so I cleared all this desk. It was piled high here on this side anyway, and I cleared it so I could be a part of the Zoom, so I could do it in here and I could do some little things on my desk. And I thought, well, while it's not too bad, I'll do my filming in here, and it really makes sense for my exciting news and things anyway. So I'm going to talk about first Patreons quickly before I forget, because I've got photo things to remind me of things I want to show you today. But patrons, if I get that out the way, I haven't got any photographs ready for those, so I'll just get that out the way. So seam work. Now I am a member of Seam Work, and it's a dressmaking related thing, and every month we get, as a subscriber, 2 patterns basically, and people can buy the patterns if you're not a member, but you don't get the add-ons that we get as members. Now we are the 2nd of May now, so there was 2 new patterns yesterday. Now one of them is the Roan button down tunic, and one of them is the Dell jumpsuit. So I'll show you the some photos that I can see of the Roan button down tunic. So it just looks like a shirt to me, what I'd call a shirt, but they are American, so would you call that a tunic? Well, actually, I don't know, a tunic, I suppose I'd think of like a long shirt that goes over your bottom, so maybe that's what gives it the tunic name, I don't know. But yes, it looks like a very large shirt. Yeah, it's very nice, and I'll show you the Dell jumpsuit. And yeah, they are using you know, ladies of different figures, which is really good, because you know, you can kind of see what it would look like on you depending on your size. Now I've probably not told you what the patterns were in April, so I'll just try and find them. So April, I've not shown you these. I think I've definitely shown you the month before by the look of it. Yeah, so then what we got in April was the Emma dress and the Riley top. So the Emma dress looks like a very soft square neck strappy dress with this a square lower back, soft square at the back, and it looks like it's got pull ties, very sexy. And it looks like it almost looks like clots. I wonder if somebody has turned it into that. No, they haven't. It's probably the way it was sitting, but it's very pretty. You could wear it to a wedding, couldn't you? You know, obviously not the white version because you don't want to, but you could actually wear it as a very simple wedding dress. Say if you was you know, getting married abroad, it was a second wedding, you know, second marriage, not in a church and things. Or you could use them as bridesmaid dresses, couldn't you? Yes, and it's really nice. This looks more like a chambray one. And the top, the Riley top, it looks like a vest, quite a high neck vest with a thick sleeve, and it's got like a little pull tie at the bottom, and that's really very pretty. And actually the fabric on the lady that I'm showing you now, I think that's an Atelier Brunette fabric, and I own that fabric and I've not used it. So yeah, maybe I can make that top. It's one of those sorts of fabrics, I've got it, and it's like my precious, and I don't know what to use it for. So yeah, but that's really, really lovely. I don't know if I would use it to make that, I'm not sure, but yes, but that, it's nice seeing it made up in something. And the other lady, it's more like a gauze fabric, isn't it? I don't know if it's double gauze, but like definitely a gauze type fabric. So yeah, so they're lovely. Now there would be some you do get some hats. Now I don't want to spend too much time on this, but as a member you get you know, some variations on these patterns, but you know, I'll be there all day talking about seam work and their patterns because they're lovely. It's a lovely thing to be a part of. Now I ended up being a part of it because I did their design your own wardrobe a few years back, and then you're on a lower rate, and I've just stayed a member since. I might be my 3rd year. I haven't made a huge amount from it, but yeah, it's, you know, I kind of like being in it. It's a bit silly really, isn't it? I don't think I've really fully got my money's worth from it, but I could do if I, you know, got my head into gear kind of thing. Now I did basically print some patterns out that I intended on making last summer, and then when I checked them, I was going to piece them together, there was ones missing, and then I just kind of put it aside, and then that was that. So anyway, I'm just going to get my photographs ready for when, so it will be jogging my memory of the things I'm going to show you today. And oh, bear with me. Sorry, that took a bit longer than I thought. I just totally forgot how to use, you know, find albums on my iPad, which is really strange. I do this thing all the time and I couldn't find them. So I've got my photographs ready, but oh yeah, I'll talk about the Patreons. Now I'm in, which you already know about, Little Effie Things. Now she put her Patreon, she's a toy maker, she put her Patreon on hold. I'm on the lowest tier while she was doing something, but she did give us a pattern, so no new members could join at that time. I don't know if that showed some espadrilles pattern for her 55cm toys, which I haven't actually made any of Little Effie Things 55cm toys. Those are her main toys. She generally makes them in those sizes, and some of her things on Patreon are for things of that size, but the only thing I've made are her miniature mice, which I'll pop a photograph on the screen for you to see. So yes, that's where I'm at with that Patreon. And has she given us anything recently? She did give us that sheep, which I didn't end up making. I just ran out of time leading up to Easter, and I've had to put all my laundry bags of fabrics that are organised, by the way, out of a wardrobe upstairs that was in a spare one in my middle son's bedroom. I've had to put them in the loft because now my youngest son is having to use that wardrobe because he's moved in another bedroom which is temporary again, which hasn't got room for a wardrobe at this time until it's extended as it is. So yeah, so I've had to put fabrics in the loft in laundry bags which are labelled, but yes, it's a bit more of a rigmarole, and I think my husband's moved them, so it does make things very difficult for me. I might be able to bring them back down, but I'll explain more later on in this video. So anyway, so that's that Patreon, and I'm in Knit the Year Patreon. Now I haven't got the pattern to hand for this month, but I will try and get a photograph of it for you, and it's really lovely, and it'd be a really quick make if I wanted to knock these up. And there's some tiny little knitted bees with flowers on a guide garland, and I was so excited. Now I will admit I've got a kit to make a toft bee. The bee, it will be bigger than these knitted bees, and yeah, I plan to make those this summer, and I bought them in a sale last year, but yeah, I will make those this year. Maybe I'll knit some little bees from this as well, so that'd be nice. I have crocheted bees and things before, though, you know, I've done a number of bee crafts because I love them, but yes, I will be making more bee crafts. I've got bee fabrics, you know, so yeah, that might be like a few summer projects for me to get on with. Now I've joined another Patreon, which is a doll, well, she has different kind of things, but it's a doll customization. It's like basically for Blythe dolls, and because Blythe dolls you can take them apart. I will explain more about this in my Blythe video, because I know some of you are new to Blythe and you don't know much about them, or maybe you do. I know I've got a few new viewers which are aware of Blythe and, you know, have had them longer than I have, but yes, I will touch on that more then. So, oh well, this Patreon basically, it's doll customization. I haven't watched any of the videos for the customization as of yet. In all honesty, I do know a lot about it already because there's a number of videos on YouTube that are free. The only thing I've done in a part of the Patreon so far is the Zoom meeting that I met up on, and they were actually journaling, because this Patreon, she does a journaling thing, and so yeah, I got to be a part of it, even though I'm not doing the journaling, but I did some drawing, which actually I'll show you. I posted it on social media, so you might have seen it already. Now what she was doing, Philippa is her name, she was, and she's little Matilda Atelier, she was basically had 2 pages, and she stuck some pictures that she'd taken of a doll, and she put all paper in there, and she wrote her doll's name and a bit about her doll in there, and during that hour, and we could basically do what we wanted. So I just basically drew my first Blythe doll, Lily, which maybe you've seen already on the screen at the drawer. I'll show you a photograph or two of Lily, and the, you know, and I'll tell you what, in my Blythe video I'll explain more about her name and why I called it and things. But yeah, but this is my stitch diary, so I won't go into it too much now, but yes, that's what she did. But I just drew a mushroom because this particular lady, Philippa, has some mushroom stickers, so I just drew one of them, mushrooms. And as I've said to you in a video before, I always dreamed, and this was even before the dolls were in here, of having my craft room a bit like, you know, an enchanted forest with, you know, toadstools and things, didn't I? So yes, so watch this space. So anyway, things I've been making. Now, in previous videos, you will have seen I've been knitting, we're working on 24, you think, oh gosh, not those again, 20, I can hear something rustling. It makes me think, is there mice in here? Probably, well, there are mice in here, but are there real mice in here? Yes, 24 Nordic sweaters, and they're for Advent, that's why there's 24. And basically what the idea is, they're little knitted jumpers or sweaters depending on where you come from, and you're meant to do a close cast on, so basically in the neck you can fill them with treats and hang them up. Well, it's a choice. I've left mine open because then I can put them on a wooden doll, my wooden drawing doll, or I could put them on my knitted dolls, or I could put them on something that it fits, or I can just pile them up. So anyway, I've been cracking on with these. Now, I think you'd seen up to number 8. So I've gone on and I've made, and I'll show you what the yarn looks like, number 9. So that's what the design is like, and you use the black linen, I can't remember the name of it, might be charcoal or something, and the mustard colour, which I think is called golden nugget. And then number 10 I've also knitted, and that one is a cream colour, I can't remember the name of it, and the brown colour is called cappuccino. So I've knitted those 2 jumpers now, and I've got them here. I'll just dig them out. So here is number 9. Now you might think they don't look too Christmassy looking, do they, these colours? They don't really, do they? And this is number 10. And they're looking lovely. When I say they will fit the knitted dolls, that because it's an Arnie and Carlos pattern, it will fit their knitted dolls. Now here's one of them. Here's Ingrid, and she's peeking out here. So, but yes, I've made enough. Well, actually, I've made the first one. I made one without the colour work. You've seen these before, but I'm not going to show you them all individually. But I'll show you the pile that I've got going on. And this is a pile of them. So that's basically 10 of them. 10 mini Nordic sweaters, and I started these late January and we're now the 2nd of May, so I'm not even halfway through, and I want them done before the 1st of December. Ideally I want them done way sooner so I can work on other things. And then I've got this one. Anyway, I haven't made good progress on 11. Now I must admit, with the one being black and mustard and cream and coffee colour, they're a bit more of the drab looking ones, but altogether they look they look lovely, don't they? And it's lovely because you can see, if I thought about making a jumper for myself and think of what colour suits me, I could think, well, would grey and cappuccino suit my colouring? Would this blue and mustard suit me? Would, oh, I've got an order on the way. Would black with golden nuggets? They are a really good way, aren't they? That's the cream with cappuccino. Well, you can, what colour do you think suits me? Cream with red? Could I carry off this green with red? Now, some of them, they don't stand out as much, do they? At a distance. But I suppose if you were knitting your own jumper, maybe you could use a lot thicker weight of fabric. There's a green with a grey, black with, it's like a silvery grey. Oh, this is the colour I say I can't wear. Mustard. It doesn't look too bad on the camera, does it? So when I've had photographs taken in this mustard top, oh, it looked vile. This is a very dark blue, probably doesn't look it on here, with a cream. Yeah, so what's my colour? What would suit me? But anyway, I must admit, this, even though this one, I think these look the most festive, don't they? Cream and red, green and red. Wow, this one is so festive, and I'm in no rush to finish it. Actually, it's really nice. This is how it's looking. It's number 11, and it's the red with the cream. And so far, this is basically how you knit them. You knit the body, then you knit a sleeve. I've already knitted one sleeve yesterday evening. It just flew together really quick. So I'll probably do the other one this evening. And then when you get to that point, you join them all together because you knit these in the round, but then you join them all as the round because you've cast off some stitches under here and here, and then you basically work on the shoulders all the way up to the neck, and then the neck is about this long because you fold the neck over. But yeah, they're lovely. I just love them. And now I will admit it is a big job, and because of these you're going to see less this year than probably previous years, because it is a massive project. You know, like this one knits up quite quick. Some knit up quicker than others, in all honesty. So yeah, please bear with me this year. You know, this is how it goes. If you take on a big project, obviously it takes a lot of time, and knitting is not as quick as sewing, is it? So yeah, I'm gonna crack on with that this evening. So that is it. Now I'll show you the picture of the whole jumper and the yarn before I leave that. So that is that. So I'm going to talk about some sewing now, because it's the next picture along. Now, some of you have really been enjoying some of the miniatures I've been making on my previous videos, and I've made a number of tiny little mice. Do you know what? I'm going to grab the suitcase. Now maybe I'll pop some previous photographs up on the screen as I'm talking to you. Yeah, I've put my little mouse over. I keep this by my sewing machine, and it's to keep hand sewing needles in it, and that's what I wanted it for, next to my sewing machine. But it has got a magnet in it. I made this, and it was designed by Thimblewood. It's got a magnet here, and it sits there. It's lovely, isn't it? Oh, you can see. So anyway, I keep my miniatures. Now, what's brilliant about miniatures, they don't take up a lot of space. Now, you can have a dollhouse, which I would love. Now, I must admit, regarding my dollhouse, I didn't really initially. I've got a dollhouse here, and it's huge. It's right up there, and it starts here. It's basically, it's a dollhouse that was for 18-inch dolls. Do you know, like that kind of size, like Our Generation, American Girl, that kind of size doll. The one that I've put the Harry Potter uniform on that you've seen. Well, it's for that size dolls, but I'm using it for Barbie size dolls. So it's ended up being Barbie's dream house, basically. It's full of Barbies, full of plastic Barbie things. It looks very classy plastic, right? Not really. Do you know some Barbie doll houses, especially in previous years, they can look on the tacky side, can't they, with the things? I think this has a more finesse to it, but it's not how I envisioned when I had a doll's house. I wanted more, you know, rustic and, you know, a bit oldie worldy kind of thing. But I must admit, getting that kind of thing for this size, 1/6 scale, which is Barbie size, isn't the easiest. And when you find them, they're rather expensive. So basically you've got to really make it yourself unless you've got a big budget. But I would, in time, I want a smaller dollhouse house, basically 1/12 scale, and then you can have all these little, you know, little things you can collect then. Because it's a bit of a worry when you see all these little miniatures online. You don't know, are they going to be more my size things, which are more 1/12 scale, I'd say, or 1/6 Barbie, or are they going to be, you know, the Our Generation size, like 18-inch dolls? You just don't, it's hard to tell sometimes. So anyway, I've made another, well, I've made some, I was going to say I've made another miniature, but I've made more than one thing, but the only one of the things is in here. So yeah, all my little mice are in here, and I've gone on and I've made a bunny rabbit. Now this bunny, oh, it's holding something I knitted actually. I've got a photograph. This is what I shared on Easter Day. It was my little bunny rabbit, fabric bunny rabbit that I made, handing a knitted Easter egg over to one of my little mice. Now I've not blushed up the cheeks of this little rabbit yet. But yeah, it's so. Now this one, you probably think, oh, it's quite large. This is the adult size, and obviously because it's got ears, it makes it taller. Now this is the adult size. It's by the same designer, Little Arkington. This is an adult size mouse, because they all come in different sizes, and that's the adult size bunny. So the bunnies do come up. If you look at them at shoulder height, they're the same at shoulder height, but the bunny has got a longer head, and then it's the ears. So yeah, so they generally look a bit larger. So there are other sizes. So you've got the these are the, you've got an older brother and sister size, which I haven't made any older brother and sister size yet. This is the little brother and sister size. So that's how much smaller than they are from the mother. So basically the older brother and sister is going to be halfway between those. Well, somewhere in between, not exactly halfway, somewhere in between. And these are the babies. These are the baby size of Little Arkington. And one of them I sewed the head on wrong, but it just means I've got one that's faces sideways, and what it is, they're supposed to have sideways facing like this one, and I put mine on forward, but it's good. They look quite cute. Now, so this is my new one basically, and I will be making more of these different sizes, and unfortunately no clothes at the moment. And look at this teeny tiny egg. Now I bought a pattern which contained this egg from Ravelry, and I knitted it wrong. Basically, it wasn't supposed to be this small. When you get to the middle and you do just like a row that's got no increasing or decreasing, you're supposed to be doing 3 or 5 rows or something, and I just did 1 row. I totally read it wrong. I was doing it late at night, so I ended up with this really teeny egg. But I am a chicken keeper. I know what eggs look like, and I think that is a great egg shape, and it would have just made the egg longer, so I'm not too upset about it. And that the little zigzag going around the edge, I've embroidered that with embroidery thread. It's not knitted in, so because that's what the designer had done. So anyway, what else do I want to say about these? Oh, so yeah, so you've seen the others before. The this dress isn't little Effie thing, but these are the little Effie thing mice. They're both exactly the same. I've just put a dress on this one, so yeah, in comparison to the mother, these are one size, and they're very similar to the mother size. They've just got bigger heads, but yeah, really lovely. And she's kind of like she put in a different fabric on the body. You make them differently, and this was the other one, the little Jean one that you've seen before. And what's really good about little Jean, she does a lot of clothes patterns and those, but that wasn't little Jean, that was something else. That was Sweet Little Briar, I think, wasn't it? Now, I bought a pattern from the Sweet Little Briar on Etsy for some baby things. Now, they do miniature animals, but I hadn't made any of the animals, but I wanted the baby things and the headband. So there was a headband, but this might be a wrongly printed out one, and it fitted this mouse. So anyway, I made the bassinet from Sweet Little Briar. Now, all of these, apart from the bunny, you have already seen, but I'm sure you don't mind seeing them again, but I don't mind looking through them. But basically, I've made something else Little Briar. Now you haven't seen this little girl on YouTube. Now you've been seeing my Blythe dolls, haven't you? Now I've named them as well. Now you've seen Lily and Isabella on previous videos, but I will show them again because I've made things for them. So Isabella, it does lead to this. Oh gosh, I've just dropped something. A small dolly, sorry dolly. So here is Isabella. She's my second Blythe doll. Now I've made all her clothes, which I have shown you all her clothes before, apart from her hat. Now this jumper was basically a hand has been in a pocket. I've noticed on some of the photographs it makes my dress look wonky. I promise it isn't wonky. It's just the way I've put a hand in a pocket, so it kind of drags it round. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but I certainly noticed. Well, I knitted, do you know the designers of these Nordic sweaters? They designed a Blythe jumper. It was free, but it's £6 to buy on their website now. I still had this yarn left. It's what I knitted that bow in, the knitted bow. I had some left, so I knitted her a hat. This was a pattern. If you go on Ravelry and put in Blythe, there's loads of patterns. And this, I think, is I think her name was Anarchy, and she actually asked me if she could use my photograph to advertise her pattern, which I thought was really lovely. So yeah, I was dying to knit a little Blythe hat once I had them. Now she's got some shoes on now. I didn't make the shoes. Obviously I made the dress, the jumper, the hat and the tie. Well, I say tights, they're long socks. But they look like tights. These came on my first Blythe doll. they came on her, well, not on her, but in the package, but I've given them to this doll because the shoes I bought for this doll, they kind of look better swapping, which I'll show you in a moment. So that's Isabella's hat. So that's something else I've made since I last saw you. And I'll just get Lily. Now Lily has still got Freya the frog. Lily loves frogs. Now you may see in that picture that I drew of her, I drew a little frog on it, so maybe I'll put that back on the screen. But yeah, she's got Freya here. Now you can change the hands on these dolls, which again I'll go into more detail on a Blythe video, well, certain Blythes anyway. I'll go into this. It's a massive world. There's so much information I can give you on Blythe, fake Blythe, la-di-da. And yeah, it's a video on its own. I can't really talk about it in this video. But I have knitted her a cardigan. And it was a pattern off Ravelry, and it's called the Eyelet cardigan. Now this is knitted on the flat. Yeah, it's knitted on the flat, not in the round, not like the Arnie and Carlos, not like the hat, they're knitted in the round. And then you seam these together. Now, on some of my photographs, you probably can't really see the eyelets. You see all these little holes. It's supposed to have holes. It's not my shoddy knitting. And it's got the holes all down the side. It just depends on what she's got underneath, how the light is catching it. But yeah, it's really very sweet. And yeah, so that's Lily's cardigan. These are the shoes. These are what I bought for Isabel. They've got little cats on them. Oh, little cat faces. Yeah, I bought them for Isabel, but with her tights, they looked a bit chunky with these shoes. They did fit, just about, but yeah, they looked a bit chunky. Where at the moment, Lily hasn't got anything on her legs, so yeah, they just seem to go a little bit better. So I'll just pop Lily back in here with Freya. And yeah, I've knitted another jumper in that's like very fine, that cardigan. It's like a sock weight, like a 4-ply, or it is a 4-ply, not like a 4-ply sock weight yarn at West Yorkshire Spinners. And I've gone on and I've knitted a Blythe jumper. Now this pattern is to fit an authentic Blythe doll. However, the fakes have got slightly longer arms. So this is apparently, I bought it off eBay, a real Takara Blythe body, not a fake one. But I've made the sleeves a little bit longer on this. Because the fakes, obviously, it looks cute, obviously, on a Blythe with it hanging down over their hands. But then I haven't tried it on a fake yet. But yes, the hands should pop out. But as I say, I haven't tried it on. Now this is supposed to be knitted on the flat for the main part of the body, and then you knit the arms in the round. And you start neck up. I knitted it flat so far down. So it's got an opening at the back. I've just put a pin there at the moment. But it's supposed to have an opening all the way to the bottom. But when I got to a certain point, I then knitted in the round. So mine is joined at the bottom. And I might have decreased a few stitches at the bottom to allow for the lack of overlap that we didn't need anymore. But I knitted this jumper wrong the first time because I thought it was knitting in the round. Now I'll show you a photograph, I think I've got it, of what it looked like when you knit it in the round following the instructions, and basically it looks nothing like this jumper, does it? So then I did end up finishing it, but yeah, I wasn't too happy with it. And and I've knitted it the right way now. Excuse me, this doll's got no pants, but she's got no head, so it's more like a mannequin, isn't it? So anyway, yeah, I just need to put a little press stud or something on that. Yeah, and I don't know what my intention, if I'm going to finish off an outfit with that. I'm not entirely sure. It might go in my little tiny doll shop, I don't know yet. But anyway, back to miniatures, but it crosses over with Blythe. So you've seen what the Blythe look like. Well, I ordered a Midi Blythe, which is the one down from Neo size Blythe. Neo means new. This is Blythe from 2000 and something. So, but yeah, but it's, you can say Neo size and then people will know what you mean. It's that size. So then you've got the Midi size. Now I'll put the photograph. Now she came to me naked because she isn't authentic. She is a fake Midi Blythe, but she came to me naked. I ordered her some shoes from China, but they sent this little dress. It's like an alternate thing, which I did put on her for a photograph. Now you'll see there's another little doll with her. Now that is a petite Blythe, a fake petite Blythe, but I'll talk about her in a moment. But yes, but I was dying to make her an outfit, so I've gone on and I've made her. Now I've got a photograph next to Isabel actually, and you can see a glimpse of that outfit. I've basically made her some little trousers with working pockets and a shirt, and the shirt matches the fabric I've put in the pockets. And then that's what I'd photograph. Now this one little photograph of her going like this, it wasn't until I looked at it properly, and it reminds me of actually a photograph of me when I was about 3 years old. Now I had a little fringe, my hair was about to here, and it was a photograph at my nan's house. Actually, my nan's not long had another 90-something birthday. Actually, I've got a photograph of a card. It was a shop bought card, but I put Nan on, I die cut Nan and put Nan on it, and I did nice calligraphy in the card. Well, anyway, I walked through the door when I was 3 years old, and I'm kind of going like this, in this lovely little red dress with all little sailing ships and seagulls and things on it, and it just reminded me of that. But yeah, I didn't plan it when I did it, but it wasn't until I looked at it after. Well, anyway, now these dolls, their eyes are different, which I'm going to go into in my Blythe video, but their eyes are different to those dolls. But I've gone on, I've knitted her a hat, and I've crocheted ears. So it was a pattern originally on Ravelry, but I put crochet ears on it because they did have some ears, but they were knitted, and I preferred to just make up my own crochet ones. And I've gone on and I've made a backpack with a teddy bear inside, and now you'll understand why. And here she is. Now I've named her Little, and I haven't photographed her like this, you're the first to see her, Little Matilda, because she's smaller, isn't she? So she's got the shoes that I bought her, she's wearing the little trousers with the working pockets. So I don't know if I think in one of the photographs I've put a hand in a pocket, and this is the knitted hat that nobody has seen but my husband while I've been knitting it, and he had a look and he said yes, it's really cute. And my mum has said, because I'm a mother of 3 boys, 3 teenage boys, and my mum said they're like the little girls you never had. And I must admit, these dolls do feel different to having my Barbies, because my Barbies are ladies, but these are like having children, and they've got decent sized heads and things to make things for. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, she got a little bear hat. So it's knitted, but I crocheted ears. And then I thought, oh, what shall I do? This is an afterthought. I made the sweet little Briar. Do you know the designer of the little bassinet? Now I haven't made her animals yet, so I don't know how big her miniatures are. I've only made her items, but I've made the backpack and the baby bear. So we've got the baby bear poking out. Now it's quite a basic bear. There's no arms or legs or anything, but that is the design. But yeah, but that's how she's looking. Now I'm going to say Little Matilda. She likes bears. Bears are her favourite things. So, but anyway, now if you've been following me a while, you'll be proud of me. I'm sure you will, some of you. Please, I'm sure. I hope you are. Now let me grab it. Ta-da! Now, and these are better. Basically, I've made 2 of everything. And if anyone I thought was a tad better, the better one's gone in here. So here are the little trousers with the little working pockets. press studded at the back. There was undone actually. It's not because I tried them on her, I had a fitting. I've actually put the fabric in the cuffs, look, as well, like that. Now this fabric, I made myself shorts in this. First pair of shorts ever actually, so you know it does have some meaning to it. And I made the little shirt. Now these aren't totally finished actually. I've bought some buttons. They came from Northern Ireland and they're 3mm white buttons. Even though they're closed with press studs. Here, look, there's 3 press studs. I'm actually going to sew buttons along the front of here. And yeah, so that's the only thing I need to do with that, and I've got to do it on my one. And here is the hat. That's how it's looking. And this is a lovely, this has got a warm mix in it. I knitted a part of an owl in this, so I knew it was lovely. And here is another backpack with another little teddy poking out the top. So basically, my little Matilda, my Midi Blythe, is lucky enough to have this outfit, and so is somebody else's little Midi. Now, as you know, I'm, you know, a crafter, a hobbyist. I don't sell very often. However, I have seen there's these little doll conventions, and I dream of being a vendor someday. So I'm thinking of, you know, putting these nice and safe, put some silica bags and things, keep them nice and airy, in somewhere nice and dry and things, and making a number of things and going to a doll convention as a vendor. Wouldn't that be amazing? Now, I can't promise this is ever going to happen, because do you know what I'm saying? You need, I don't know how much it would cost to be one. I don't know how much it would be to travel. I don't know, do you know what I'm saying? I'd have to have a number of things to sell to make it worthwhile. Normally, when I make and sell, I'm at a loss.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, he doesn't understand. I'm normally at a loss. so yeah, I don't know. But that is what I'd like to do. So this is the start of it. So what do you think? It's a bit exciting, isn't it? But that's not my exciting news, although it is exciting. Exciting for me anyway. And maybe exciting if there's anybody that really likes what I make. You might be somebody that can, the rare occasion, get hold of something I've made, because it is a rarity. You know, normally my things are like one of a kind, aren't they? Or in this case, they're going to be 2 of a kind, but the only person that would have them is me. But maybe I'll make more than 1 or 2, I don't know. So anyway, so that is that. So yeah, that's a sweet little bright. Now I would like to go on and make that baby bear does have a family. Now I did buy the little Arkington bear, which, you know, I've made her bunnies and mice, and actually it's a honey bear, but they're actually, I haven't made it yet, but the patterns, they're bigger, they're not miniature like those. So yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I think the Sweet Bright are supposed to be miniature, but I don't know if they are miniature, unless I make one, I don't know. So yeah, watch this space. More miniatures this year. If it's going to bring you anything, it will bring many miniatures, miniature things, because this is my passion. But I will admit, because I've been making tiny doll clothes, it has given me the bug to make myself something. You know, I need to do some dressmaking for myself, definitely. I did have a little look around last night thinking, oh, what shall I make for myself, you know, but I didn't make a decision. So anyway, I'm going to quickly show you this little dolly, and this is the fake petite Blythe. She's really very tiny. Now I've named her Wilma. Her eyes closed if she lies down. They've got magnets and they open. Now, if you wonder what, now she came to me like this. I'm glad she wasn't naked, but she came to me in a poor felt, acrylic felt dress with Velcro. But yes, at least she's got something on to hide her modesty. Ooh, but she's got pants on. Well, plastic pants. So this is how she looks now, but she's going to get the Claire treatment. She is. I can't leave her like this. Now her arms, you know, they don't bend in place, but they are a bit bendy. But she does have some bendability in her knees. And so yeah, I think that's what the proper authentic Blythes are like, their bendability in the knees. Apart from some Littlest Pet Shop ones, they are like Blythe petites, but they were part of Littlest Pet Shop things for some years ago, and they don't bend at the knees, and their eyes don't open and close either. So if you're ever looking for any second-hand ones or whatever, you've got to look out for that. So anyway, she's going to get the Claire treatment. So, you know, wish me luck. There's some very, very tiny. So they're getting smaller. So the Blythe, you know, they're of a certain size. Blythe Neo. Then I've gone to Midi. Now I'm going to be making something for petite. Now, if you wonder what's going around her head, it's one of my bobbles. I've put it on her hair. She's got a line around her head now. Her hair was sitting up ridiculous. I don't know if I've got any photographs of her to show you, but it was hurting my eyes. So you can like dip them in hot water, the hair, you know, brush it down, or you dip it in cold water and things to relax the hair. See, it's pop. Now I've taken it off, look. You know, some people would pay for this, wouldn't they? Volume like this. But no, this volume on Wilma, it's not. Now, how she's called Wilma, I don't know if you can see on here. I thought I was ordering a girl with a kind of like a light brown hair, but it looks more golden. And she gives me Wilma from the Flintstone vibes. And that was it then. All I could think is Wilma. And that's how it stuck. So that's her name. But these dolls are really lovely. Now I see this more, she's a doll for the dolls. But you could have her in, you know, your doll's house. You know, your 12th scale doll houses. She'd be the perfect candidate, wouldn't she? These little dolls. She's got all, so her eye isn't opening properly because she's got all hair in her eye. Apparently, these eyelashes are that long, it kind of stops their eyes opening properly. She's lovely, isn't she? So anyway, I think I've shown you everything I've completed at least. You know, I'm going to be doing more Nordic sweaters. Oh, I have some bad news about my Whitmore sweater, my knitted sweater. Now, before Easter, I had my Barbie knitting bag in the car, and I was knitting a swatch, the patterns in it, a few of the balls of yarn, my swatch which was nearly finished. Now I don't know if I left it in the car over Easter or if I bought it in the house because I thought, oh, it's going to sit there all Easter, but I cannot find it, and I've looked 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 and I can't find it. So at the moment I cannot knit my Whitmore sweater. I'm not ready to knit it yet anyway. I want to finish a swatch, maybe at a cast on or something, and it would be, I'd delve into it every now and then, but I can't work on it at all. The needles I bought for it, a couple of balls of the yarn, the pattern and everything is in there. So yeah, it's a bit of bad news with that actually. But anyway, what I'm going to end this on, now I will do a little video with music at the end of this for you to see some of the things you've seen today. Maybe not all of them, it depends if I get them photographed or videoed. But the exciting news is my craft room is finally going to get revamped and it's going to be bigger. But I have got to move in another room in the house. Now, this other room in the house was a garage conversion, which was being used by my youngest son. Now, my youngest son is in my eldest son's old bedroom. So yeah, so basically we've had to shift people around, and so basically it's nobody's sleeping in there at the moment, but there are still things in there. The wardrobe's still up, there's still some of his furniture that he can't fit in the bedroom in there, there's still my old printer, you know, there's things on his shelf. We need to get it emptied basically, and then apart from this that you can't see, this desk is going to have to stay in here with the renovation because you can't get it through the door, so it's going to be wrapped up and moved around because it's on wheels, but I've got to basically move in that room. But I'm going to try and not dump myself in there. I want to try and make it a workable space so I can still sew and do things like that. So that's my exciting news. So I will do probably a separate video of that. If I'm really brave, I will show you what this room looks like, you know, as it is at the moment before I leave. And I've had so many people go, can I have a studio tour? And do you know what? I've just been too ashamed to show the room. But now I'm getting out of here, I won't be ashamed to say, look, this is how it's looking. This is the room I'm going into, and then I'll show you what my room, a temporary room, looks like when I'm moved into there. You know, maybe I'll show you when I'm half moved, how that's looking and how this is looking. You know, I'm going to keep you updated. So I might do a separate video series called my craft room series or something. So yes, so if anyone finds me later on, they can kind of go back and watch the process of it all, and you know, I haven't got to go through every single Stitch Diary video to see the updates and things. So yes, that's what's going on. So my husband, we did speak about this before. My husband said no, we're going to do the rest of the extension first, but now he's backtracked and said yes, I think this is going to be better because I can get the front of the house finished on that side then. So yes, so yeah, I'm going to get my beautiful new craft room, which is so exciting. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this video. Well done if you've stayed to the end. You know, I'll be lovely to chat to you in the comments if there's something you need to ask me or something you want to comment on. If you, I don't often say this, but if you've liked what you've seen today and you don't already, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, so thank you so much. I'll send you over to my video and I'll see you next time, and it's probably going to be a Blythe video. Oh, and one thing, if you want to see a snippet of the extension, it was in my last doll diary video. It's quite near the start actually. It was one where I was building that Barbie disco room. I did show some demolition in there, and in this little end bit of video now, you're going to see a bit of rubble outside my back door. But the reason you're seeing the rubble is because I've got a chicken that keeps escaping. So I wanted to show you the chicken and the dogs running around, but then Holly started doing her toileting, so I had to try and get it off her. So yes, so excuse if you see a bit of Holly doing her toileting in the background, but yes, I'm going to put that in the end bit of video as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. I've really missed doing this with you, and yeah, I can't wait to chat with you again. Okay, see you soon. Bye.